Hey everyone, I just want to take a quick moment before we start the episode to talk to you about italki, which I'm very excited to have partnered with because it's going to be a game changer for you. If, like many beginners, you are struggling to find French speakers to have conversations with. Italki is a leading language learning platform where you can have one-on-one video chats with native teachers. And really, this is key because having regular conversations with French speakers will help you immerse yourself in French and progress much, much faster. Now, on the technical side, italki is also super practical. No subscriptions required. You simply pay per lesson and you can schedule them anytime, anywhere. And fun fact, I was actually teaching on italki before starting this podcast. So I can 100% vouch that this is an amazing platform, whether you're looking for a one-on-one teacher or simply a conversation partner. The lessons are really designed to fit your learning goals. And good news, I've got a special offer for the French Made Easy podcast listeners. If you buy $10, you get $5 for free for your first lesson using the promo code French Easy. Now, this is limited to the first 50 users, so don't sleep on it. Click the link in the description box and give italki a try. Trust me, 6 months from now, you'll feel way more confident in French and you'll be glad you started today. Now, let's start today's episode. Hello everyone, welcome back to the French Made Easy podcast. This is episode number 143, numéro 143. Today we are talking grammar and more specifically contractions between the prepositions à and de and definite articles. So a few weeks ago, we wrapped up my new 28-day grammar challenge where the students who are enrolled in the program had to create sentences in French every single day for 28 days. And I was correcting all of their sentences. So it was super fun. But one issue that I've noticed among many students is the use of contractions between articles and preposition, or rather the lack of use. And I think that might be because contractions are somewhat optional in English, but don't quote me on this though, I'm no English teacher. But in French, those types of contractions, which I'll explain all about in a second, between articles and prepositions are not optional at all. So that might be why so many students are having a little issue with it. And that's why I really wanted to have an episode on that topic. Now, as usual, before we start our lesson, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. Make sure you have your lessons cheat sheet in front of you so you can listen to the words and see how they are written. And when you finish this lesson, you can head over to the French Made Easy exercise library to download your lessons exercises and practice what you have learned today. You will find all the download links in the episode notes on your podcast platform. So, what are contractions? A contraction, to give you a simple definition, is when two words are combined into one shorter word. Now, in French, there are different types of contractions with different types of words, but today we'll focus on, I think, the most important and the most common ones, the contractions between the prepositions à and de and the definite articles le, la, l'apostrophe, les. Now, before we go any further, let me just give you a recap of what the prepositions à and de mean. So à, with an accent, and side note, it's also something that I've noticed a lot. Accents are not optional in French. You cannot not have them. So the preposition à with an accent, and side note, it's also something I've noticed a lot. Accents are not optional in French. If they are there for a reason. So the preposition à translates to, at, or in, and that's depending on the context. And the preposition de can mean of, from, or about, with the exact translation also being context dependent. Now, when these two little prepositions, the preposition à and the preposition de, are next to a definite article, they can contract into one word. So let me give you another recap about the definite articles. So the definite articles translate as the in English, and they are le for masculine singular nouns, la for feminine singular nouns, les for plural nouns, and L' for nouns starting with a vowel or a mute H. I've got an episode on that, episode 11. Now, let's look at how the preposition à contracts or doesn't contract with an article. When the preposition à comes in contact with the definite article le, the two words become au. The preposition à next to the definite article le become au. Par exemple, I'm going to the cinema. The word-for-word translation would be je vais à le cinéma. Now, you can't have the preposition à next to the definite article le. So, à and le together become au. The correct sentence is je vais au cinéma. I'm going to the cinema. Je vais au cinéma. Another example, he is at the restaurant. The literal translation is il est à le restaurant. Now you can't have à and le together. Il est au restaurant. He's at the restaurant. Il est au restaurant. Now, when the preposition à comes in contact with the definite article les, L-E-S, the two words become au. Now, it's spelled differently than the first one. It's spelled A-U-X. It sounds the same. A-U-X. O. So, à and les become au. Par exemple, we are going to the United States. Nous allons à les États-Unis. Now, that's not something you can say. You have à and les next to each other, so they become au. Nous allons aux États-Unis. Nous allons aux États-Unis. And by the way, there's a liaison between X and the I. Nous allons aux États-Unis. They are going to the toilets. Word for word translation, ils vont à les toilettes. Now, that's not something you can say. You can't have à and les next to each other. À and les become au with an X at the end. Ils vont aux toilettes. They are going to the toilets. Ils vont aux toilettes. So I hope you can now, with the examples, understand a little bit more of that sort of contraction. But when the preposition à comes in contact with the other definite articles, so the definite article la or the definite article L with an apostrophe, they do not contract. They stay the same. So, for example, when you say, I am at home, je suis à la maison. Je suis à la maison. À and la do not contract. So you can leave them as they are. Another example, we are going to school. Word for word translation, nous allons à l'école. À and L'apostrophe do not contract. So you can leave them as they are. Nous allons à l'école. So that's it for the contractions with the preposition à and the definite articles. Now let's see how the preposition de combines with definite articles. And it's the same process, right? So when the preposition de comes in contact with the definite article le, the two words become du. So de and the definite article le become du. Par exemple, she comes from the market. She comes from the market. the word-for-word translation. Elle vient de le marché. You can't have de and le next to each other, so it becomes du. Elle vient, ou elle revient, she comes back, elle revient du marché. Elle revient du marché. Another example. The neighbor's cat is very calm. Word for word translation. Le chat de le voisin est très calme. Now you can't say that, you can't have de and le together. So you say, le chat du voisin est très calme. De and le become du. Now, when the preposition de comes in contact with the definite article les, the two words together become des. Example, they are talking about the books. Word for word translation, ils parlent de les livres. Can't say that, so de and les become des. Ils parlent des livres. Ils parlent des livres. They are talking about the books. Another example. We come from the United States. Word for word translation. Nous venons de les États-Unis. Can't say that. Nous venons des États-Unis. Because de next to les becomes des. Nous venons des États-Unis. Now, when the preposition de comes in contact with the other definite articles, la or er apostrophe, they do not contract. For example, we enjoy the view. Word for word translation, nous profitons de la vue. You do not change de and la next to each other. He comes from abroad. Il vient de l'étranger. Il vient de l'étranger. We do not change de next to the definite article L with an apostrophe. You keep it as is. Now, let me add an important note here. These contractions that we've just seen, I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. They are not optional. Please remember that. You do not have the option to do it or not do it. You don't have a choice. So let's just do a quick recap because I feel like I might have lost some of you on the way. So when the preposition à comes in contact with the definite article le, à and le become au, au. When the preposition à comes in contact with the definite article les, à and les become au, aux. When the preposition à comes in contact with the definite article la or the definite article L with an apostrophe, it stays the same. And when the preposition de comes in contact with the definite article le, de and le become du. And when the preposition de comes in contact with the definite article les, de and les become des. When the preposition de comes in contact with the definite article la or the definite article L with an apostrophe, it stays the same. And that wraps up today's episode. I'm sorry, I feel like this probably was a boring episode, but I really wanted to clarify this point. So hopefully that will help clarify how to use correctly those contractions in French. Now, please make sure you are downloading the free exercises for this episode so you can practice what you have just learned. Super important. Okay, well, I will chat with you next week. À bientôt. Bye.